You know, when things don't work out according to your plans or according to your desires, that in no way diminishes your capacity to love, your capacity to bring forth some kind of joy and playfulness, your capacity to feel and be touched by compassion. That's all intact. That's your God nature. That's the ultimate reality, and that will make good of anything in your life. So I think the highest experience and expression of faith is when we sense a goodness that can be brought into everything, even if it doesn't look like what we'd expect. So once again, for those of you who have heard me speak before, I'm going to bring us back to an experience in my corporate days. Boy, did those fill me with lots of sermon fodder. To an experience years back where the only way I could label it is I experienced a betrayal unlike anything I had experienced before in my life, with people that I had worked with and really had good relationships with. And you know, I don't have to go into the details, but let's just say they didn't show up at their best and did some things that were based out of some fear-based behavior, but it had a really negative impact on me. And at the time, I had been introduced to Science of Mind teachings, and I was working with a practitioner, and so I had to do my work to get over my resentment, my hurt, my indignation, and certainly doing the spiritual practice helped me to improve. I won't say completely get rid of those feelings, but as I did the work, I started to have this conviction, this faith, that you know, there really was a greater goodness in these individuals. I knew them to not be absolutely bad people, and that there was a way for us to make good of this situation, to resolve it, to get things back on track with our relationship. And so I really did the work and felt that sense of this greater possibility, and I offered it to these individuals. And they didn't go along with it. And I was not amused at all. And I remember as I shared the experience and the hurt from that with someone in this teaching, how they offered this idea to me that, you know, one day you're going to look back and you're going to realize that this happened for some greater good. And I remember in that moment, I felt so grateful that our conversation was unfolding over the phone, so she was nowhere near enough for me to just turn and smack her. How dare she deny my pain? But as I thought about that, I realized that it's not that this had to happen for greater good to come forth, but that there was something in me, even in that moment, that was seeking to have a better experience, to make good of what was. And I knew right then and there that, yes, indeed, some greater good will come of this, because there's a greater good in me. There's a goodness of God that's looking for a new way to emerge and reveal itself. And as I stay open to that, it will show me the way. And indeed, it did. And I also realized that as I continued to do my spiritual work, which included praying for these individuals who I didn't have much contact with after that situation, I didn't get to see what it did, but something in me said, somehow, that's doing good. That's doing good. It's blessing them. It's blessing me. It's lifting this whole situation in a higher vibration. Even though I couldn't see it, there was something in me that felt bolstered by that. You know? And so I was the recipient of a greater good just by the faith of knowing that there was greater good there, even if I couldn't see it in the moment. And I think that's what we want to keep cultivating, you know, that faith that we can call forth that keeps us from giving in to appearances, from being deflated or discouraged when things aren't moving in the direction that we would like them to move. And even when we can't see the greater good that we believe we are offering as we do our spiritual work and give of our love and give of those qualities of God that lie within us in our own ways.